I didn't type that. That's from another stream that I did.
Oh my God. And there's people here already. Oh, and it's working.
It's working. Wait,
This is great. It's the duck.
I saved the day.
You did save the day, Mr. Tones. Okay, this is phenomenal.
It looks so much nicer too.
It does. It looks professional instead of me pulling all of these things and that's overrated. Just do it for me. What's up, Larry? How are you? Think we got one person in the house? Okay. I don't blame it if let me get rid of that last stream before.
Yeah, I gotta delete that.
Yeah, that one's got to delete. It was buffering all over the place. And
that was
we
horrible.
Just found a better, yeah. I shouldn't, Mr. Tones found a better way. Yeah, I know. I hate creating bad stuff. You know, I do. Everybody does, but there we go. So far, it looks like we have 18 people in the house. Don't mind me. The theme of tonight is people who want to choose their first metal detector. You got two people here who are passionate metal detectorists, and we'll tell you our mistakes. We will tell you our worldviews on purchasing your first detector. Oh my God, in the last stream, even though it was a hot mess, still got 19 likes. So thank you, everybody. Okay, bear with me. Your channel, YouTube Studio. I can't multitask. I could do one thing at a time really well, and that's it. 10 more seconds. Still there, Lou? Uh-oh.
I'm here. I'm just muting because my kid's screaming. So
yeah, that's all good. Wow, and look at this. We got all the comments. Bear with me. One more second. Channel content live. I just want to delete that last video because it's just, people are going to waste their time. It's going to buffer and pointless. More actions. Delete forever. Yes.
This is streaming beautifully. I'm looking at it in real time. So
yeah.
Can't even compare.
Okay. StreamYard is incredible. Incredible. So easy. I'm going to use StreamYard from now on. This is just, game changer. All right, so let's see who's in the chat. We have Larry.
The duck.
The duck started it. This duck is awesome. StreamYard is awesome, but you know that. Jason Fogel, what's up? W Diggs. Marty, what's up, Marty? Mark. Gabriel's back. And no buffering, yes. And we can hear Mr. Tones. Nevada Metal Detecting. Ray. Dead Trout Hunter. Greetings from New York. We're back, yes. James, what's up, James? David Frazier.
You could actually see the comments in StreamYard without leaving your window open.
Exactly. Oh my God, it was so hard the other way. So I'm going to actually delete. What was the name of the program that I used? It was called OBS.
OBS Streamlabs or something? I don't remember.
Yep. No, I'm done with OBS.
I think OBS is just a system.
No, it's called well, whatever it is.
We're not using it anymore.
It's done. Welcome to Fun Club for the night, and let me continue saying hi. We got Louisiana Digger in the house, John's in the house, Moto Mining, James Jones, David Lyon, Lisa, Bluetube, Michael Swan, Bruce. All right. So the topic tonight, getting your first metal detector. And I know we have some experienced metal detectorists that are in the chat. We might have some people that are on the fence and considering buying a metal detector. And Mr. Tones had to do something. We're going to have something a little bit for everybody. I got a few notes here on my phone, and we're going to going to make a night of it. And we maybe made mistakes in the past, and hopefully this stream will guide you to not make mistakes, the same mistakes. Then again, mistakes, you learn from them. And the first thing that I will say, the first piece of advice that I will give anybody, regardless of what you choose, it's going to be a win, because you'll dig up the equivalent in change, even if it's something that is, a few $100s. With use, it's something that you get your money back. So, that should ease any concern that you have with that. Just with use, you'll make it back in time. Opening thoughts, Mr. Tones. What do you think?
Yep, you will get whatever you choose. If it's the no frills one from the dollar store, you're gonna wind up getting that money back as long as you don't break it. There are trade-offs with the cheaper ones, but you'll wind up just digging everything, and you'll get that money back.
Right. My first one was a $30 detector from BJ's at Christmas season, and it had like the depth of like 2 inches separation. No, didn't really separate. Everything kind of merged together. But I got hooked when I found a silver quarter in my yard, and it was just go time from there. And from there, I bought a Bounty Hunter, and then a Garrett AT Pro, and then I'm on like number 16 right now. And I would say that I knew back then that that I was going to stay with metal detecting. And I kind of somewhat regret not going even to a higher price point. But then again, this is me talking. I'm a admitted metal detecting addict. And it's a good thing to be addicted to. But a lot of people, I think they worry about how difficult a detector is going to be. And that prevents them from, getting something that's super advanced. I tell you, there are some detectors that are really made to be simple. And there are some detectors that have like all of these features. Like if you compare the Simplex with the E-Track, oh my God, it's like flying a 747 and landing it. But I mean, to do it the right way and to master every aspect of the detector, it's difficult. To just turn it on and swing, anybody could do that, and they have modes for that. And I think most detectors have, beginner modes. I think if you're around others that detect, if you're buying a detector and you're joining clubs, and you might want to see what the detectorists in the club have. Like I lucked out with you guys, because pretty much everybody that we detect with is on, Equinox now. And that was one of the reasons that I chose to get an Equinox too. It's like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna have people that I could bounce, my thoughts off of, and it made it easier. So if you're joining a club, a detecting club, ask the members, what are they using? And even if you are new, I think that you'll grow into whatever it is, and you'll get back whatever you spent. What do you think, Mr. Toads?
And also keep in mind what your application is going to be. Something definitely the Equinox, in my opinion, I would say is the best on the beach, hands down. Again, that's my opinion. A lot of people have their favorite machines. As you do this more, you're going to want to try them all. I mean, that's what I see a lot of people that are into the hobby wanting to do. You're going to have your favorite one. I do find having an arsenal at your disposal, one for a beach, one for the woods, one for a park, Equinox seems like that is one of the better ones for all applications, especially the beach. I had one before that was really great in the woods, but it was horrible on the beach. Couldn't keep up with everybody. So
why don't you tell them the name of that one?
Oh, the White's MX Sport. It was sold as a waterproof metal detector, which it is. It says up to like 5 feet or something like that in the water. But what they didn't say is it's not for salt water, even though it has a salt track, which is supposed to make it better.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Same thing with the Garrett AT Pro. It's advertised as a detector that can be it's submersible, but when you get it in the salt water, no. When you get it in the wet section of the beach, it goes crazy. You know, great relic machine.
Yeah.
All right, I saw some good comments there. This is from Moto Mining, and look, it even has a show button.
There you go.
This is so easy.
I told you. I haven't done it yet, but everybody I know that uses this one, you could even do a countdown before the stream starts.
I can't believe this. We're in the future. This is great.
Yep.
This is really, really great.
All right. Full stream ahead. Stream.
So the question is, as you can see, do coin guys ever go for PI machines or just gold people? So I own one pulse induction machine, and it is the people will yell at me when I call it a pulse induction machine, but it is. It has it's a PI machine. The White's Beach Hunter 300.
Great machine.
Great machine, and it's got whatchamacallit. It's basically a hybrid. It's got a target ID system without giving you numbers, but it's got colors, you know, that basically if something is ringing up high tone, it's going to be green. It says coin on the side. It has that, but it's pulse in that if you hold it over a target, it's like permanently in pinpoint mode. Okay. So, you know, it's a pulse. And you know, the White's Beach Hunter 300, like if you look that up, it has that. Long story short, and this is again a conversation I've had with Philip the Knox. He started out with that machine too, and he and I believe it. He was saying that he can hear the difference between coin sizes, and I'm not. You know, there might be some misunderstanding on my part when it comes to that, but it really got me tuned in to the sizes of the objects. And I've started to hear, now that I'm wearing headphones, that you can essentially tell if it's a round target. You could tell just by going back and forth over a target, you know, how long it is, you know, if it's properly tuned. And, you know, that kind of opened my eyes up to that. So going back to that question, do coin guys ever go for PI machines or just gold people? The PI machine that I have my eyes on this year is the, oh my God, the Fisher, help me out with this one. AQ Impulse, that's what it is. If I'm going to be impulsive, I'm going to get an Impulse AQ.
Oh, by the way, Rob, Florida. Rob just saying that if he can use StreamYards, anybody could. And I mentioned them before. I said Rob used it, and that's why we did.
Mr. Tones mentioned this, and oh my God, I was just getting so annoyed at like how difficult the other one is. Yes, you could kind of put everything where you want. I just want something that works. This is working. I'm so happy right now. I think you could see it. I'm happy.
Yes.
Fun
Yes.
club. Yeah. 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 Let's go find some more great questions. Let's see. We got Invasion of the Stickers in the house.
Yes. What is it doing?
James L., thank you.
Sorry. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm gonna have to set this up, Merrill. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to pull that trigger. Took you literally like what, 3 minutes?
Yeah, no, the first time. The first time.
And I don't think there's a charge. Is there a charge, Rob? I don't think there is. I don't know. How does that
I'm
work?
not paying anything right now.
Well, they
Look,
get a free advertisement. It says powered by StreamYard on the top.
yeah, no,
So
and
it's like a
that's
win-win.
good. That's good.
Everybody's happy.
That's a win.
Oh, PI also. A lot of my club members go down to Civil War country down in Virginia. They'll pay like a farmer to do their farms, and depending on what soil they're in, if it's that clay, the Equinox doesn't work well, and they use PI machines. Some of them rent PI machines, some of them have them. So it's really good to have if you, depending on the soil, like down there, you definitely should have one.
Yep. 24 hours free per month. Okay, that's 20 hours free per month. That's very reasonable. Yeah.
Do it once a week. That's good.
So let me go back to questions or comments. All right. So you mentioned something really interesting before with Mr. Tones about the White's beach hunter. Could you? I remember your story with that. Could you tell us how you started with that detector?
The White's MX Sport?
Yep.
Oh, I was actually, like a lot of people do, looking at YouTube videos, getting really into the hobby. I had a decent detector, the Titan. It almost looks like a bounty hunter, but it's a little bit better. It's still expensive. It was like a $400 machine. It was a hand-me-down. And everything was leading to the Garrett AT Pro, and I couldn't figure out AT Pro, AT Max. What am I going to do? And I'm in my club meetings. I won the White's MX Sport during a raffle, so super excited. Found a lot of bucket listers with that, including a seated quarter. Which was terrible on the beach. And then the Equinox came along. I tried, one of our dealers came to my club, and it was super light, but I was like, all right, what is this thing? I wasn't familiar with Minelab. And then when I started making friends with all the YouTubers, Jonathan, and I met Merrill. I don't know who else had the Equinox, but we're on Coney Island. I think Merrill was right behind me, sweeping right behind me, and I totally went over a chain or some kind of bracelet or something. I was like, that's it. Get an Equinox. I don't want to look at this thing again. Still a good machine though in the woods.
I saw a comment there in the chat asking if we went out today. Yeah, David Frazier. What's up, David? How are you? And whatchamacallit? I did go out today. I forgot. I must have left my detector on in the car because I turned on my Equinox and it was not, the battery was blinking. So I used the detector that I have that I had ready for me, which was the Amphibio. And I used the Amphibio in the field today. And it's good to switch around to other detectors. But one of the things that you have to think of is AI with detecting nowadays. Anytime you're talking about multiple bands, there's a marriage of bands with artificial intelligence. For instance, if you're going to get a swing over a target and get a beep, under 5 kilohertz, 4 kilohertz, they're going to need to triage that and pick a number, based on the properties of the target and how they all ring up. And, each one of these bands, for instance, the higher frequencies will get you the smaller objects, and the lower frequencies are very sensitive to silver, to copper. Merging all that information, that's a work of art in itself. And I own, I think, 3 multi-frequency detectors, simultaneous multi-frequency. That's an important that's an important thing to consider, because I think it gives you a greater margin for error. And when you talk about the Deus, when you talk about the Amphibio, sure, you can customize your detector like crazy, but it's always going to be one band at a time. And I think today, long story short, you'll see the video when it comes out. I had a good day. I picked up a piece of silver. I got an Indian head penny. Um, I did the same field a few days ago with the Equinox. I got hundreds of coins. Today, I don't think I got 10. And I think that that really says something. There's familiarity with the detector. The more familiar that you become, the better that the results are going to be. There's no question about it. But when I picked up the Equinox, it was like new stuff was appearing all the time. And I have the Vanquish also, and I have the Garrett Apex. All are multi-frequency. The other two are multi-frequency. I'm sorry, simultaneous multi-frequency without the separation. And uh, the comment, I have Baz Outdoors comment right here. My first detector was the Knox 800. Still got it. Been detecting a year and a half. Beach only. Bought a car with my finds. I believe that it really is a difference maker. Let's see.
That's a good point, Merrill, you brought up, because a lot of detectors are sold as having multi frequencies, but they're not simultaneous frequencies.
Yeah, the word that you want is simultaneous, and I think that a lot of detectors moving into the future, if not all, are going to be moving in that direction. Um, I mean, I can't call myself a expert on the technologies that are coming out. I'm not, but I know that everybody else. If you look at what Nocta is doing right now, they're coming out with a simultaneous multi-frequency. Everybody is scrambling to catch up to Minelab, in my opinion, at least. At least in New York, it's interesting. Like, I look at metal detecting videos from around the world, and I don't see as many people in Europe using the Equinox as America. It still seems to be Deus dominant, but in America, and maybe it's just the soil, and you were saying that earlier, Lou. Like, you have to really take into account the soil conditions that you're going to buy a detector for. And I saw earlier somebody was saying that the wet clay, um, I don't know if you're in the Virginia area, but that's notorious. Like, that's very challenging ground. There's red clay that's there, and it's very challenging detecting.
And if you're traveling far, you don't want to have a bad detector if you're going very far. So it's something to consider when you're going down there. See if you can rent one if you don't want to buy one. That would be terrible.
This is an interesting point David Frazier made. Friend of mine says Vanquish does better than Knox on interference. If there's an Achilles heel to the Equinox, it is the cell phone interference.
Horrible.
I would say tell your friend, make sure that your phone is off. Like you were saying, when you live stream, Luke, you can feel the difference when when you have your phone on and when you have it off.
If you put an iPhone right next to the Minelab, it's going to make a lot of noise. Once you put it on airplane mode, like 4 seconds later, it'll go off. Yep.
I used the A2 Pro for 4 years and used the Knox in my backyard. That you hit hard with the Pro. Found a silver ring and multiple wheats that the AT Pro missed. Yeah, I say same thing here. I'm continuing to find stuff as I'm figuring out how to go deeper with the Knox. So,
Yeah.
personally speaking, if you know you're going to stick with detecting, I would say take into account maybe it's just a New York thing. Is the Knox just a New York thing? All I know is I go to Prospect Park. 90% of the people who are swinging there are going to be using the Equinox. And I think the reason why is because it's such a great separation machine. And we have so much trash in New York.
Yep.
And it's fantastic at that. And maybe in other parts of the world, there's other detectors that, will do better. So I would say, like, really take a look at what people are using in your local area and ask them about that.
I wish they could make like a sniper coil that could go down 15 inches. That would be game changing.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I could get 8 or 9, with the 7 or 8. I could get 7 or 8 with
Good.
the
That's good.
with the sniper coil. I love the sniper coil. In fact, the new video that's going to be coming out tomorrow, it's all sniper coil. I
Wesley
went
Snipes.
I went OCD happy. Actually, no, that's 2 videos from now. You just it's like it sounds like a machine gun, man. Like New York, I was by a tree that the bottle caps that are there, it's just it's just crazy.
You could just use your pinpoint in the trees.
Exactly. That's what I did. And then I was like, wait a second, I've been pulling these up for like 30 minutes. Let me go check the rest of the field.
Yep. That's why I love deep in the woods near stone walls, because it's very rare. The most garbage you'll find are shotgun shells, or somebody that was hunting will have a couple of pop tops. That's it. And everything else is old. But the ticks are out now, so it's gonna be beach now. Beach, park, beach. Equinox is coming out full throttle because I love it on the beach. And when it was shown to me in my club, I always wanted to get the Excalibur too. The Excalibur wasn't getting those very thin gold chains that comes up on the Equinox. So I'm not sponsored by Minelab. I just love the machine.
Same here.
Yeah.
So, question from Joshua Layton: could you sound cancel your iPhone with the Knox 800, or is that just silly? Here's what I know. I swing the 600, and the 600, you depend on the system to choose the optimal channel for you. I believe the 800, correct me if I'm wrong, the 800, you can switch around and find the optimal one. You could like use the up and down and find the optimal channel. That's what they call it on the Apex, and that's actually a really nice feature. And you really need it, especially with cell phones and cell phone towers. The guy going around, can you hear me now? That was like 20 years ago, I know. But they're making more towers all the time, and EMI, electromagnetic interference. Can you sound cancel your iPhone? I've tried more with the 600. It's very tough. There are some areas that you just are at the mercy of the conditions. That's the weakness of the Equinox right there.
Definitely put it in your other pocket that from the arm you're using. Try to keep it as far away as possible. But there's so much EMI, and it's so sensitive to power lines. I did the first governor's house in New Jersey, and they had a dog fence, that electric fence around the house, so it shocks the dog if they go beyond that, and drove the Knox crazy. Also, competition hunts where everybody's close together. You might not want to use a simultaneous multi-frequency because all the detectors are going to mess it up. You're better off in one of those competition hunts with a cheap single frequency machine. So something to think about.
We got Dog Star Blazer in the house. Missed you today, buddy. I wish I went hunting with you guys today. We had to take care of some family stuff. I got out for this afternoon for a while.
That gentleman in California, he does a lot of beach hunting. I can't think of his name right now. Anybody know
Oh
who
my
I'm
God.
talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking about. I was
Guy
just
from
watching one
Burlington.
of his videos, and he's got
Ferguson.
yes,
Ferguson.
yes.
He live streams and he has no interference, but he syncs his phone with a GoPro and he puts it on his shoulder. Maybe that's why. I gotta look into that. I use a chest mount, so it's like really close to my arm. So that might work.
The GoPro batteries. Oh my God.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I didn't use a full battery for 3 days. It just sat there and it died.
Yep.
It's terrible.
All right. So the next point I wanted to make with this, because it's sticking to the theme of first detectors out there. The one that really impresses me for cost, bang for your buck, Simplex. I know you have a Simplex now, Lou, and you're going to use it. I've used it. You will not get the same results on the beach. You will get 85% of the same results in parks. 80 to 85%. I'm curbing my enthusiasm a little bit as I learn more about the Knox. I'm seeing new levels, but it could be, for instance, Fernando. I think he's at like 50 pieces of silver this year with the Simplex. If you learn how to use it, it's going to be a great machine for you.
Tuning into your machine is very important. If you do that, there's some people you have that Minelab E-Track. There's some people that find tons of reals with that, old timers. One that I know, and he's using the Simplex now. He went from an E-Track to a Simplex.
And that's the crazy thing. The E-Track is still being sold brand new from various companies. You're talking about over $1,000.
Yeah.
Going to the Simplex, which if you get without the headphones, if you don't get the Plus, it's a $250 machine.
Yeah. Dawn said too much chatter on the Simplex. I heard that it's less chatter with the headphones. I honestly don't like chatter. I kind of hate it. Is the Deus have a lot of chatter too?
The Deus is one that I'm a little bit guilty of, like understudying for, and I plan to fix that this year. The Deus just could not, and Deus people might, throw cyber tomatoes at me, for saying this. What I heard about the Deus is it is fantastic in iron, and I assumed that it would be fantastic in trash. From what I've seen, and I've tried various settings, New York trash, it's overmatched. And the Equinox, that's not the case. You can coexist with the the amount of trash. You just have to swing super slowly. But I've heard about the Deus. It's a sound machine, and you can really understand the differences between the beeps. But we're talking about the Deus. Getting a new Deus, we're talking about more than $1,000 here. Versus,
I want that machine. It's so light.
Yeah, you could borrow mine. Anytime, buddy. But
thank you.
Equinox, again, price point I think is more attractive, even for the 800. And you have to ask yourself, what are you getting? You're getting multiple bands married together, and I would say very successfully. And if you buy either one of those machines, it's not. There's no battery cost too.
Right. That's huge. My White's MX Sport, I would put 8 AA batteries in it. That's crazy.
You haven't had to pay for batteries since. That's the thing about this hobby, and I think it's going to continue to grow in popularity. And
as people find more things with these fancier machines, not saying you need a fancy machine, but I don't know. Pulling out rings on the beach is so much easier now than I'm sure than it was with the cheaper ones.
Sherlock 100. This is something I've never heard before that I want to try now. I saw a video where someone asked Minelab about phone interference, and they told them to put the phone close to the coil and noise cancel it. Here's my thoughts on that. I've never done that. Okay.
That's a good idea. I got to try that.
Yeah.
But you also want to make sure that signal, that noise cancel doesn't cancel another target ID. I don't know if that would happen.
Nor do I. But a lot of the EMI that I get, and it could be from, wires that are running under the ground, but there are just certain areas, whether it be in a park or a beach, that it's just it goes crazy. And you can, pump the coil over the ground, do a manual ground balance. That's helpful. You can make sure that you are, right channel, the noise cancel. And you could put it on auto tracking, but it still is a problem, and it goes beyond the phone. It's just there's some areas that the knocks just will not perfectly behave. The other thing you could do is turn down the sensitivity, but you really don't want to do that. That's a last resort.
Right. Anytime you do all those things, you want to make sure there's no signal on that patch, because if you noise cancel or do something over that target, it might cancel that target out. Like, don't do it over a quarter. That'd be the worst thing you could do.
So this is good. We have some people, either, I don't know if, Mark C., I'm highlighting your comment. I don't know if this is, you're new to detecting. Honestly, if you know that you're going to stick with it, my advice, biased, although I do not work for Minelab in any capacity, get 600 or 800. In retrospect, I wish I got the 800, actually. But I've been doing fine with the 600.
Yeah. Me too. I want the 800, but I had this sweet deal. It came with the sniper coil for free, so I was like, how am I going to turn that down? Now I wish I got the 800. What are you going to do?
Yeah, John, I go hunting with John, and we were on a beach one time, and the EMI was just so much that we were getting lots of fake targets. Only way to get around that, turn down the sensitivity, and the steps I mentioned before: noise cancel, auto tracking, and manual ground balance.
Merrill, on the beach, in my opinion, I'm happy with the 600. I know Phil finds these super deep coins with the 800, but I find really deep stuff with the 600. In the park, I wish I had the 800.
Interesting.
It's weird. That's just my own feelings about it.
As far as I understand, and I've looked this up a number of times, between the 800 and 600, you're getting pretty much the identical machine. I don't think that there is a difference in the circuitry on the inside. I think that there's a difference in cutting
ranges.
Exactly. So, for instance, you can adjust the recovery speed by 8. It's split in 8 parts versus split in 3 parts. I pretty much keep mine at 2, recovery speed 2, and 1 is just pointless. If you put it on 1, it's like swinging the Safari, which is I've had that machine, and I loved that machine years ago, but we're talking about years ago. So 800 is a game changer. 600 is a game changer. If you get the gold mode also, and you get, for instance, you can auto change the channels so that you could be more direct. You could say, all right, let's try this. Next button, let's try this. Let's try that. Whereas the 600, you have you have to depend upon the program that they have to noise cancel and put it in the right thing.
Right.
So, there's a few advantages. Oh yeah, and it's the same thing with iron bias. If you want to turn the iron bias all the way up, it's by, you have more intervals.
The speed too, right? The recovery speed. Don't they have
Yep,
more?
recovery speed
You
too.
said that already.
Yep.
I just wanted to show this. Yesterday, I got a bucket lister with the 600 on the beach. It rang up 2931. It was pure solid. It was like a solid tone. And it's a 1907 Bob a quarter. Found that on the beach yesterday. Yay. Woo, woo, woo.
I have only found one of those. That is the coin that absolutely tortured me. I found so many barber dimes. I have found exactly one barber quarter in my life. I want to do something about that.
A lot of mercs. I feel like that Equinox finds every merc. That was good to find that.
Hey, what's up, River Sticks Outdoors? How you been? Vanquish, I'll agree with this too. And you know what, Lou, we spoke about this too. You see the comment?
Vanquish is a junior Knox. Yes, it is.
But you also told me something. There was something that you disliked about it, if I remember correctly, too.
Oh yeah. So first, I want to just show you this gentleman's Instagram. His name is Dirty Diggin' Nuts Bunny Foo Foo. Look how much silver he found today with his Vanquish. Look at that. That's what a Vanquish. He said he uses his own custom program where he notches out some of the midtones. That's a lot of silver for that in the park. So I took it to a really trashy beach. I'm like super trashy. And we were going to have like a shootout, me and Merrill. He was going to use the Garrett Apex. I was going to use that.
And then we ADHD'd it.
There was so much junk there that it was just beeping like crazy. Even though I found an earring with it, I went back to my car and got my Equinox because I felt it was just fact. The separation was so much better. It is still a cool junior Knox, but the Equinox was definitely better at processing all those targets in one shot, I felt, while I was using it. I'm not knocking the Minelab. Also the Vanquish. I don't believe the control box is waterproof like the Equinox. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, so I had an epiphany with the Vanquish when I was at Prospect Park one day. And the video, oh my God, I'm blanking on the name of the video. Long story short, much like today, I forgot to charge the charge was not there in my Equinox. Beautiful thing about the Vanquish is you could just take out batteries and just say, oh, crap, I forgot to do this. All right, let me put some AA batteries in. There's a cost to it, of course, but you can do it. So anyway, I'm at Prospect. I'm stranded. I tried with the Apex. It was just too much for the Apex to handle. The multi-frequency on the Apex was overmatched. And they give you that small coil, and it'll get you, 7-8 inches, but it does not go as deep. And the separation is just not the same. It's not in the same ballpark. So you have a multi-frequency. It's fantastic on the beach. You know why? Because the separation is not an issue on the beach. You'll see me use that yellow detector on the beach. I was going to that night that we were going to go hunting and do the comparison, the Vanquish versus the Apex. I have no problems using it on the beach. I do have a problem using it in parks, though. And that's where the Vanquish really showed me. If you swing it slowly, extremely slowly in parks, you'll do very well.
And I have a serious problem with detecting slow. I'm trying to go slower.
Buy a charging pack, Merrill, plug-in detector, take off. I have that, and I forget to charge those sometimes. But usually they're with me for live streams and stuff like that. Absolutely.
There are sometimes the Minelab is blinking that it's charging and it doesn't fully charge. And it's not only me that happened to it. I know it's happened to Merrill. It happened to my friend Anthony. It happens. So it's always good to have that backup with you if you're driving far away. You do not want a dead detector if you're driving far away.
Dog Star Blazer. Thanks, buddy.
Dog Star Blazers in the house. He found, he found the same quarter I found. I think
just
5
saw that
people
too.
found that quarter this week. It's so crazy.
I would totally geek out finding that. Like, I need more of those. I think I saw enough's enough. Say before. Let's see. Let me find the comment. Merrill is a merc. Yeah, I find mercs like you wouldn't believe, and I need to go back. Scott Jarvie, 3 machines in his car. Yep. Hey, what's up, Ohio River history? Long story short, well, let's see in the chat. Is there anybody? Because you got a bunch of. This is a great community here. You got really great people, really kind people who will take the time to like really, give their perspectives, help people out. So if you're brand new to detecting, if you're considering getting a detector for the first time or even upgrading a detector, let's hear it in the chat, and either Lou or I will take care of you, or somebody in the chat. It will definitely do that.
Hello, Team Clambake, and everybody else I missed. I'm not really paying attention that much.
Yes, I do the same thing. This is a great suggestion too. It's from Florida Thunder Digging with Rob. With the 800, you get 2 charging cords. Actually, wow, I didn't know you get 2 charging cords with it. I had to buy an extra one. I have like 5 charging cords for the Knox because I keep losing them and finding them. Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. You keep it, you charge it in your car, and
yep,
there you go.
And the 800, you also get, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, wireless headphones.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. How did I manage to forget that? Oops.
Oops, there it is.
Merrill. Oops, there it is. Yeah, the one that I'm really dying to try right now, and David Frazier, I don't know if you're still here. Yes, you are. I see you. You had texted me about that a while ago, and I just started looking at that detector, the Fisher Impulse. Yeah, that's one that's high on my list. I want to see more. Whatchamacallit, PI, pulse induction detectors.
Yeah, that sounds great. And I'm excited to know about this Nocta one that's coming out probably with multi-frequency. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah,
that's going to pop. I would assume it would be cheaper than the Equinox. I don't know, because how much was the Amphibio?
Amphibio, if I remember correctly, it was between 600 and 700. Yeah.
And that White's MX Sport, that was an $800 detector. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Still a great
machine. You could say the same thing about, technology years ago. Yeah. Oh, and that brings us to the Dos Equis of detectors. The Garrett AT Pro. It's still being run out there, and it's a workhorse. I get it. It does not break down. You could, I was going to say run it over with the truck. That's not exactly accurate. But you're buying a detector with the capabilities of being not even top of the line. Good, but not great in terms of top of the heap in like 2010. But it's still being out there. They're doing like a 10-year anniversary of the AT Pro. Will it work for you? Absolutely. If you go in a field that has not been hit yet, if you could by some miracle find that, will it work for you? Sure. But I'm telling you, separation is equal in importance to depth. Equal in importance. The exciting thing about metal detecting is we have not hit that bottom layer yet. I see that so much in so many parks that I go to. As you pull this stuff, you're able to go deeper because there's less, stuff around. And you could, on a day that maybe the soil is a little bit more wet, you can go a little bit deeper.
I like those days.
I love those days. Absolutely.
And it's also good for the plug. It stays together.
Right. And the grass also. The grass is, when the grass is short, like it is at this moment right now in New York, but maybe this time next week it will not be.
Right.
That's also, when you have a wet day with short grass, that's a difference maker right there.
100%.
I would also advise, I have not looked at the CoilTech coils yet for the Equinox, but I have the 15-inch and the was it 5 or 6-inch smart coil? I call it Wesley Snipes. I don't even call it the 5-inch or 6-inch. My sniper coil and the Jumbo Jet, the big coil.
I call my smart coil Fredo.
Nice.
Jackpot G Lars, another channel. He uses that AT Pro. He found a lot of stuff with that.
He uses AT Max.
Oh, now he has the Max.
Yeah, no, he's always had the Max.
Oh.
It looks just like the AT Pro.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, I missed a super chat. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Team Lynch, who's, by the way.
Team Lynch, thank you so much.
He has 100 subscriber giveaways, giving away an AT, the Pro Pointer, the orange metal detecting pinpointer. So
that's
check
awesome.
That out.
I'm subscribed to that channel. Absolutely. While we're at it, if anybody for some reason is not subscribed to Mr. Tones here, can we put? Everybody. Yeah, let's put. I'm going to put your channel in the chat right now, Lou. Hold on.
Thanks for the plug. I wasn't expecting.
Of course. We're metal detectorists. We do plugs. Come on, man.
Thank you. I'm trying. Listen, also, I'm having a giveaway. Giving away a gigantic Croto bell that was found in a historic part of New York City. I'd rather not say that on the internet. Giving it away. I bought it from a fellow detectorist that didn't want it anymore. So I'm just giving it away for my subscribers. Once I hit 4,000 subscribers, you can't buy the thing. It's a nice relic to have. I already found a couple, so I figured I'd rather keep the ones that I found.
Travis Mitchell. Interesting comment. The V3i, that's another Dos Equis detector right there. I've heard so much great stuff about that detector.
Yeah.
It was greater than $1,500, but it showed what frequency was dominant on the target, slow and heavy, though. Yeah, it had I've seen it in action, and it has a very sophisticated... It gives you data. It's like a data machine. And it just, that's one that I definitely want to try. I'm glad that I got the E-Track, but I really started to see the difference. Oh, that's right. And Lou got the legendary CTX 3030.
Yep. I didn't fire it up yet. I was actually washing it today. So I got to read.
That says a lot, though. The fact that you're still detecting, you have the CTX 3030 and you haven't used it yet.
It's a little intimidating. I also the time is so precious. I want to find things every time I go out.
Right.
I don't want to miss an opportunity until I know I'm going to be comfortable with this. So I'm just going to keep practicing, and then when I feel comfortable, I'll bring it out.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I'm horrible with this. Have the Andy Sabish book for the Knox. I have the books. I reference it sometimes. Have I ever read it cover to cover? No, I honestly haven't. But maybe that is the teacher in me talking, because I know the dominant way that I learn. I think as soon as people who I detected with started getting that machine, I knew I needed to get that machine, because we learned together and I could ask them questions. And I just think that that's a much more applied way for me to learn. And I've used it over time. And, I just think I think it's easier, but I've used the book for reference.
Ski Searcher, I actually did a trade with my whites and some cash. I personally would not spend $2,500 on a machine that's older. Maybe when it first came out, something to think about. But in my head, they're going to probably make something new. And if you want to get something like that, I would suggest trying to find a good condition used one. But that's just what I would do, unless you have money to burn.
Yeah, when I got my whatchamacallit, the E-Track, I got it used. I think it was like $600.
And it works fine, right?
It works fine. And you see, the more that I use it, the more that I learn, and the more that and see, look, David Frazier's comment is right there. Test garden. Not only have I started a test garden in the backyard. Those two fools that I live with. I'm not talking about my kids. I'm talking about the dogs who absolutely love me. They dug up the whole thing. So, you had coins that were buried precisely. I measured 12 inches down, 13 inches down. They're on the surface. My dogs hate me. And I don't hate them. No, I don't hate them. I was going to joke around and say that I did, but no, I don't. No, I don't.
You monster.
He's a monster. Yep. I'm a monster. They're just jerks. Test garden is huge. That has taught me so much. And, I give a lot of credit to Philip the Knox too. I mean, he proved that. Dude proved that. He goes out, he resets his machine pretty much every week. He knows the ins and outs of it. I did not. I got better once I started to learn that. And the other thing is swing speed. It's a little bit off topic from the, buying your first detector, which is the theme of this video. But the sooner that you figure out the ideal swing speed for your detector, I'll never forget with the Safari, it was actually fast. You wanted to go deep, you wanted to check a target, you're like, you're going fast. But with the Equinox, it is so slow, painfully slow sometimes, but you get used to it. And the more that I have slowed down, the better that I have done. And angles, a lot of people, they think walking one direction, being thorough, even if you're gritting, if you're walking in one direction, you're still going to miss targets. You want to hit good ground at all angles. That's why you see when people are not sure about the signal that they're getting, you see them turn themselves, resituate themselves. They try at a different angle. It's another way that you get more data.
Especially if the coin or target is sideways.
Yep.
Or, like diagonal. You might get it on a different o'clock.
Mr. Charlie says dig it all. I agree, because if you take it, it's a lot of work, yeah. But if you take it out, if it will show the deeper level, you'll not get to the deeper level if there are other targets that are masking. There could be no deeper level. That's the chance that you take. but it definitely it gives you the opportunity. Mark C, you want to answer this first, Lou?
Ooh, I would say I have recovered a $2,000 gold chain crucifix for a young kid that just graduated school. That was my best find, and returned it to him. 100%.
Yeah, that's one thing I really respect about Lou, like the joy that he gets in the returns, and it really shows character. I've also seen that with a lot of other detectorists, and it makes me really proud to be a detectorist, because it just that's something just in general. It adds positive. It's positive for the world. It's net positive for the world. So with me, I guess the one that I was going to say, I've given rings back to. Those are great. In terms of fine, 1732 Spanish real, that just 2 real, that just geeked me out. The condition too, it was like pretty much flawless. It's in one of my videos.
That's awesome. I want to find a real. I'm realist right now. It's gonna happen.
This is your year.
This is my year. But I was just on a road called Real Road. The person that told me that, he said it used to be called Real Road. He's kind of saying that he took them all out of there. So all I got was a stinking tick.
Oh, geez. Okay, Pro Metal Detector says you have to learn what tones to dig. Now, this has been blowing my mind. I've done 2 VDI videos on separate detectors. And okay, here's the mind blow. You start assuming, for instance, with the E-Track, I called it the Silver Slayer because it had a really accurate target ID. And it does. And you see that anything that's over a 45 on the E-Track has a good chance of being silver or something bigger, like a quarter. And then you start doing different silvers. And somebody said it before, Merrill, you get ridiculous amount of Mercs, you get a ridiculous amount of whatchamacallit, Roosevelt silver
Rosie.
dimes. Yeah, and they're great. I love pulling them. But those ones have such a different ring up than old silver. And we're talking, if we're comparing dimes, there's a totally different ring up for a barber dime, generally speaking, than a Merc or a Rosie. And I keep thinking to myself, geez, when you get a deep target and you think, okay, that's going to be copper, maybe it wasn't. I might have given up some really good old pulls just by assuming that it's going to be higher when it's silver. No, it is not. And we have conclusive evidence of that in the 2 VDI videos. I did one for the Equinox. I did one for the Simplex. And it's consistent with both. Silver, if you're talking about a Merc or a Roosevelt dime, it's going to be higher than a general dime. But if you're talking about an older silver, a seeded, or a barber, and I haven't found a cap bust yet, it's going to be lower. It's going to be in the copper range.
I saw a half real ring up as a solid 20.
Yeah.
I never knew silver would be that low.
Yep.
It is a smaller coin, but it was a 20, and I was like, whoa. It was a 20 on the 800. My friend's like, come over here, see what it is on yours, and it was 20 on mine as well.
We're getting some highs. Primoz Filippic, what's up? Ski Searcher, see you later.
See you, Ski.
Yep. David Dinges says, my friend pulled the barber and it read 21. Depends. That's a good point too. So it depends on the wear. But in the Simplex video, you're right. The thinner that it is, that's going to affect the ring up. We had a perfectly a barber in almost mint condition, it's still going to be lower. It's still going to be lower. Not much lower, but it's going to be in the copper penny range. If we're talking about I mean, Equinox or Simplex.
And sometimes when I dig a hole in the woods, once I put the first shovel in, the VDI changes sometimes. It's very strange. Something with the halo.
Yep.
Magnetic field.
All right, I'm reading through the comments now.
Go, go, go. Somebody said that.
Meryl, do you know how to put the link up to have someone join the chat? I shared it with Lou. I was going to sign off in a few minutes, but yeah, next time, Rob, we'll. This is easy to add guests, so yeah, next time we'll do that. Let's see. It's all about the sound. Numbers are nice. See, here's another person, Michael Swan, and says it's about the sound that you get. I'm just starting my training with that. I'd like to think I'm getting better, but I'm digging everything. I think I'm starting to get close to 300 wheat cents on the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I might even be beyond that. All right. So wrapping this up, what are your closing thoughts for somebody who wants to get their first metal detector?
If you're going on a beach and you want to go in the wet sand, having a multi-frequency like the Equinox, the Simplex, I'm not the Simplex, the Vanquish or the Apex, if you want to go in the wet sand. If you're not going in the wet sand, I would say if you're looking for just to start out, that the Simplex would be the best bang for the buck, hands down. You could get a bounty hunter. Like I said, there's pros and cons to getting cheaper ones. The screens are cheaper. They're not as durable. That one definitely goes deep for the amount of money you're spending. Comes with headphones. It's less than $300. And you're going to get that money back quick.
Yep.
You just got to keep digging. Not
only that, but the resale value. Like, I'm amazed at what the detectors resell for. Like, we're talking like 80% of the price if you've used it, even with mild wear and tear.
Matt said, what Simplex model number? There's only one, right? Is there just one Simplex?
No, there's a Simplex Plus, and there's just a Simplex. I believe the difference between the two is the headphones, and I think everything else is the same with them, if I'm not mistaken.
When I started buying detectors, there was Simplex wasn't out, but I do have one now. I might have gotten that if I didn't win a detector. I would 100% got that, unless I was doing the beach.
Don W says Simplex Plus with detect coil. Mark C, I thoroughly enjoyed the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Michael Swan, closing thoughts. Don't wait. Get a detector and go for it. You won't be sorry.
Right.
You know, my personal opinion of what stops people is the social psychology aspect to it. A lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people. I felt like a dork when I was out there with the detector. I assume that a lot of people do. I know that I did, and I was nervous. The first times going out there, it has been the best thing for me because now I could really just walk up to strangers. If you could swing a detector in public, man, and just not be fazed by it and smile at people, you could do anything. And it's been really good, and it's made me more aware of how do I say this? It's just made me more it's made me more easy in public. It's been good for me. Let's just keep it at that. What does Philip the Knox think? I think he likes the Equinox 800. Can't speak for him though. This is I saw a good comment by Travis. Lower your expectations. We all dig lots of trash if you want gold. Very true. I just got called a monster. Here we go. You're a monster. Yeah, most important thing, if you're trying to choose a detector, just start. You can always trade up, trade down. Just get out there and get experience using it. There is a learning curve, no doubt about it. And I think sand in the beach is a really good place to learn. I'm still waiting to start my detecting club at my school, and the plan is to take them to a sandy beach because you just don't do damage to the dirt, and you could learn to pinpoint there. That's a good spot where you can, like really learn how to use a detector. But you need something with a pinpoint. A lot of the bounty hunters, you have to pay for the pinpoint. And I'm like, we're talking about a $150 versus $200 detector. And then at $250, you have the Simplex, which blows the bounty hunters that I've seen completely out of the water. And for a few $100s more, no, let's not even go to Equinox yet. You could get the Vanquish in between. It's the Equinox Lite. We're talking about $400 and change, and then you could go up to the Equinox. If you know you're going to stay with detecting, get the Equinox. You'll get the money back in a short period of time. By the end of I shouldn't say by the end of the year. All grounds are different. You might not have as much clad as we do in New York. You're always going to need a backup detector. My Vanquish 440 is now my backup. It's already paid for itself. Anyway, that's the theme with detecting. Wow. The cops gave me trouble in a park last week. First time in 43 years of hunting.
We actually had the cops called on us in the park. There had to be 6 of us. And one of us, who was it? Jeff actually said, "Hey, cops, look how we dig a plug. Look what we're doing."
Yep.
And they're like, "Oh, that's great. Have a nice day."
Yep. Jeff is smooth.
Jeff is fun.
Yep.
Yeah, this is Merrill's shirt, by the way. It's a coincidence this happened. It wasn't planned.
Thank you, Mr. Tones.
I'm getting called away right now.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Tones. Yeah, no, I'm about to sign off also. So yeah, go be with your family. Everybody, check out. Let's see. Do I still have the? There we go. Indiana Tones. Can we get this man like a bunch of new subscribers tonight?
4K,
if you haven't
4K,
seen his...
let's go.
Yeah, let's get him to 4K. Exactly. So there's his channel. We're going to sign off. Mark C, you said, when are you going to post new videos? Tomorrow. So I have a video coming out tomorrow and the day after. All right. Signing off. StreamYard. This was easy.
Good times.
Yep. Good times. Thank you, everybody. Go metal detecting. Good luck.
Cheers, everybody.